So the Ellachel is a coriander and curry leaf chicken curry from the Cochin Jewish community of Kerala known as the Cochinim or the Pardesi Jews. It's a really small community and there's very few of them actually left in Cochin in Kerala. A lot of them have migrated back to Israel. But this is just one of many recipes in this cuisine's repertoire, which is really delicious. It's also probably one of the simplest chicken curries I've ever made in my life. But don't be fooled. It's a real winner, and you might be skeptical, but if you actually do try this, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's get to the ingredients first. You'll need chicken leg and thigh, preferably on the bone, because a lot of what gives flavor to this curry is the broth from cooking the chicken in it. You also have lots of curry leaves, onions, ginger, garlic, green chilies, coconut oil, and whole coriander seeds. First steps first, we first season the chicken pretty generously with salt. Again, make sure the chicken is dry, pat it with paper towels if needed, and season it with salt and almost kind of like mix it together, massage it in there. And this needs to be done at least about 15 minutes ahead of when you're going to cook. So have this done ahead of time, and this allows the seasoning and the salt to really permeate a little bit into the chicken. Next, you make a paste with the green chilies. Again, you can reduce or increase the number of green chilies depending on how spicy you want this. This is like a medium spicy level. You also have garlic, which you throw in there, and some fresh ginger. Well, if you've followed my cooking recipes, you'll know that I don't really peel the ginger. I just wash it thoroughly, so don't get shocked over here. You're welcome to peel it yourself. But then you just basically add the ginger in there. And if you want to add a little bit of water, that'll help with the blending as well. So do that. And blend that into like a really smooth paste. Once you have that, the next step is to, obviously, you need to separate the curry leaves. I find this really therapeutic. I don't know about you. But yeah, just get all those curry leaves out. And it's a significant amount of curry leaves for this quantity of chicken, but trust me with this one. And then you start chopping up your onions. Again, you want to chop them as fine as possible. So even if you can't get it really fine in the first attempt, if you want to take your knife over the onions again one more time and chop them, that works as well. Maybe I should do an onion chopping technique video sometime, because I've got a lot of people respond to this chopping segment of this video. Okay, next, now we actually start roasting the coriander seeds, and this needs to be done on a low flame. I'm using about 3 to 4 tablespoons of coriander seeds, which you roast slowly and keep stirring it as you do. You want the color to turn multiple shades darker. You'll get a nice beautiful aroma in the room as well. Now again, if you don't have whole coriander seeds, just go buy them. Don't try to roast coriander powder. And once that's cooled down, like you can see that's nice dark brown color, the flavor has changed radically, then you grind it. Again, you want to grind it to like a really fine powder. And there you have it. Your ingredients are ready and we are ready to start cooking. Okay, so first steps, on high heat, get the pan really hot before adding anything. So get the pan really hot, and then we add our cooking medium, which is coconut oil. If you don't like the flavor of coconut oil, you can use vegetable oil as well, but I think the coconut oil makes a huge difference in this recipe, and it really comes together with it. So you can see it's nice and smoking. That's when you add the seasoned chicken, and you want to add the chicken very carefully because it's going to splutter, and don't overcrowd the pan, because you're trying to get a nice sear. You don't want the chicken to be boiling in that pan. But yeah, and you're not looking for too much of a color. You're just looking to gradually sear the chicken. That's going to take 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And once that's done, you can kind of remove the chicken onto a pan. And we're going to use this same pan to continue the cooking. So all that stuff on the bottom is called fond. Those are like brown bits from the chicken, and it's got a lot of flavor. The reason I sear chicken is because it avoids that boiled chicken flavor or texture. Now into that same pan, we're going to add I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Coconut oil. And then we're going to add the onions. The onions are going to go in there. And that's a lot of onions for this recipe, but that's what you need. And we're also going to add the curry leaves. Okay, and this we're going to saute till it turns into a nice golden brown. Season as you go as well, at every step. Very important to build flavor and draw out flavor, so don't forget to add salt at different stages. And so this is going to saute. You're still doing it on medium to medium high heat. You want a little bit of browning to happen. And when it's reached about this color, that's when you can add the next ingredient, which is going to be your spice powder, the roasted coriander powder, and that goes in there. And you can also add your paste of ginger, garlic and green chili, and you continue to stir and cook this mixture, which is going to take another 3 to 4 minutes, till the oil kind of separates. Again, taste again, see if you want to add a little bit more salt. Don't add too much because you know that the chicken is also seasoned. But at this stage, so that's, you can see the oil kind of separate from there. And at this point we can add the chicken back in there. It's really simple. I mean, it can't get simpler than this. Add the chicken back in there. Add enough water to cover the chicken. See, I don't want to waste any of those juices on that pan either, so I'm adding the water very creatively. But add the just enough water to cover the pan. And I believe it needs a little bit of balance, so I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar. You can avoid this if you want, or use regular sugar, that's fine. And then we cover the pan and cook this on low heat for about 18 to 20 minutes. Occasionally lift the lid of the pan, turn the chicken over and cover it back. You can do that maybe once or twice in that 20-minute period. And at the end you're left with this. Look at how beautiful that looks. Now I know that this looks thin and runny, but that's how it's supposed to be. Also, as it cools down, it's going to thicken up a little bit, but it's meant to be a thin gravy. Give it one final taste, see if it needs any more seasoning. But it's super flavorful. It's surprisingly flavorful, and a lot of it has to do with those chicken bones and the broth in there. And there you have it. Goes really well with rice, especially because of the thin gravy. It's a really special recipe. I hope you try it, share it with loved ones, and show me what you make. Enjoy. Happy cooking with T-Zach.